What's up, team? You've got Jovian and Songers giving you a cast from the StickyFlames Masters Tournament.
Alright, over here in the top left-hand corner, we have htpkStrafed.
Strafed?
Red Protoss.
htpk. Well, we can call him Strafed, right?
Strafed. That's much better. Getting like an aneurysm trying to pronounce his first part of his name. And in the bottom, we have OpTiKcoyote spawning as the blue Zerg.
Yeah. And Coyote is an American-born player, but plays on a Canadian team, OpTiK. So, good Canadian showing. Canada House OpTiK all the way.
Love you, Victor Kim. Anyways, well, Ohana, you know.
Ohana means family. So we do see the pylon.
Is it actually Ohana or Ohana? I keep on saying it wrong.
I've always said Ohana. I believe that you usually are wrong, so it can't be Onaha.
You are a mean person. You're a very mean man. The probe is going for that scout though, probably going for a 40 span, just by telling by the position of that pylon. And yeah, the Zerg doesn't seem to be making a pull yet, so yeah, we'll go for that hatch first.
I love to get Nexus first if I don't see that pool right away, and that pool does not look forthcoming, so I would definitely be saving up for that Nexus. And even if he does drop a pool, I mean, you saved up the money either way. So here comes the pool at 13 for our Zerg, or at 14, because that one drone did have to relinquish his supply just to build that building.
Man, that probe's annoying. He's been just abusing these drones at this mineral patch. He's still going to be here. But the probe finally does leave, and is going to be blocking off the natural expansion for the Zerg.
No respect for the Canadian house. Doesn't give him any.
This guy hates
leeway.
Canada. This guy, htpkStrafed, hates Canada. But he is going to go down. He's going to go for that Nexus first, anyways, regardless. So
did save up, and I think that's an alright decision. Yeah. And those Zerglings aren't going to come out anytime sooner. And with him blocking that that expansion for the Zerg, if he drops a pylon, he is so it doesn't force the Zerglings to stick around to kill a pylon. Had to move away because he was afraid of taking hull damage.
That was a Canadian expansion right there.
so polite.
Sorry.
So we do see the hero probe coming in here wanting to do some damage on those drones, and does get a little bit of DPS. Really active with this drone. Doesn't have an army, but does have that one drone.
Forge going down. Forge strapped here. Overlord getting into a good position to scout later on. Gateway and his other pylon, and now that wall is very safe.
Yeah, just wants to put up his cannon and block in that, plug that little hole.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to see on this map? What do you think would be a strong matchup for these two players?
So the type of build that each player could go?
Yeah.
I'm a Protoss player myself, so I know the Immortal Sentry Push is extremely strong, especially in maps like this where the rocks are still up at the third base, between the third base and the natural. It's just very easy to put a lot of force fields in this area over here, and the travel distance isn't that long as well. But we do see a third base going down for OpTiKcoyote.
Yeah, and Strafe did not get to observe that because his probe did die, so he might want to get a little scout back there again later on.
Let's check the vision just to be sure. And yes, you're right, he doesn't know.
No, that probe definitely died on the... His gravestone is actually underneath that hatchery.
Right about here where the palm tree is. Oh, that's a good palm tree. Zergling's now working on that back rocks. He wants to get that down as fast as possible, just so he doesn't get, screwed by any type of warp gate attack at this third base where you can't reinforce. Has to take the long way around. For Zerg though, I think Mutalisks are actually very good on this map.
Yeah, Mutas definitely have some areas that they can dart in and out of the probe lines. But unfortunate for Mutas, there isn't much of that dead space in this map as you find in something like Daybreak. The Mutas, sometimes they get caught over top of just flat land in which Blink Stalkers or even just a regular army can get underneath them and prevent their harass. So Mutas definitely strong. Maybe save that build for something like Daybreak instead.
Pretty typical gas timing coming out from the Zerg here, so we're still not too sure what he's going to be doing, although he is droning up quite heavily. Protoss, on the other hand, is getting that +1, which is definitely a tell for a warp gate timing attack, even chrono boosting to that warp gate tech.
Yeah, he is getting a couple more gates. Hopefully we'll be getting that robo base soon if he does want those immortals to come with him. I highly doubt he's doing any sort of 4-gate pressure at this point.
Mm-hmm. I think he might actually be going for more of an expansion build now, with just these warp gates and no robo coming down. He's going to be trying to probably do some pressure on this third base over here for the Zerg, and then just expanding himself.
And we do see a Roach Warren coming up for the Zerg. Decent timing for that. We'll be able to get out a little bit of an army to help him defend his 3 bases here. But still, maybe just wanting to destroy those rocks with those roaches. Just tired of those Zerglings.
Crossbalance is going down for the Protoss player, getting ready to do that aggression on the 3rd base. Zealot, excuse me, taking the Zerg's watchtower, so he does have that extra vision there. Very important. Stalker now going to be joining his buddy at the watchtower, and a Twilight Council going down for the Protoss player.
Interesting. Might look into some blink pay by our Protoss player here. We do see our Zerg player going up to lair and staying up on his injects, keeping his drone count hard, but doesn't have much of an army to deal with this aggression that might be coming out of our Protoss player right now.
This aggression is actually going to hit very soon. That Prospect finishing up, and we're going to see a round of Zealots warped in. These are +1 Zealots, so these Lings are not going to have a good time. Spine Crawlers are going to poke up a little bit, make these Stalkers and Zealots go the other way. Yeah. But as I said, these rocks are not down, so... Well, the Protoss is going to the main, so I guess that rock doesn't matter.
But dangerous place to have a Protoss army right there where you just upgraded your lair. All those drones forced to abandon. That Queen might not even want to fight. Definitely taking way too much damage. And that layer is in desperate trouble. And even more Zealots coming in. I don't think that this layer is going to last too much longer, Nick.
Oh my gosh, he's not even going for the roach. He doesn't care. He wants to snipe that layer right now. And with these 8+1 Zealots, well now only 7 and 6, that layer is probably going to go down. It's getting very close, only 7.
No transfuse coming, and the layer's down. That puts the Zerg so far behind on the tech tree. Now might have to scramble, and unfortunately the Zerg doesn't have anything like DTs to fall back on.
Wow, speaking of DTs, looks like htpkStrafed is going to go straight into DTs. Knowing he stopped that layer and not seeing an evolution chamber anywhere, he knows there are going to be no overseers by the time that Dark Stride finishes.
Oh, that's so good. And I think it was just serendipity that he got that layer down, because who would have guessed that his natural would have been so tasty for the killing. But now that it is down, those DTs will be even more potent. If we don't see an evolution chamber come down for that Zerg, he's going to be in a world of hurt once those DTs hit.
A lot of sentries already there. Going to be... Well, canceling one of the cannons. I guess he didn't think that Roach was push was going to be that spear at all. Dark Shrine is finished now. Lings are going to scout around, getting those crossbows. However, oh no, 4 DTs are going to finish warping in. Roaches are able to take out this expansion, though.
Yeah, very smart of our Zerg player to go around, forgetting about that front door. Just get that 3rd down. Make sure that that Protoss can't keep growing and growing. Doesn't know about these DTs, though. Didn't see them warp in, and now probably will have no idea what's coming to hit him hard.
Oh no, these DCs have free reign over this base. Oh, I'm feeling very bad for our Canadian player. Oh,
American-Canadian team player. It's an interesting choice at that 3rd. Is he still attacking the hatch?
I think that hatch is going to go down.
Did not want to go down for those drones, even though he could one-shot them. But we do see an Overseer warping in now that our Zerg player did get a layer at his main. That hatch at the 3rd will actually go down. Not many. How many drone kills do we have for our Protoss player?
Let's have a look here. 12.
12, so still a sizable number. And that hatch does go down. These Zerglings will come in to mop up the rest of those DTs, but still at the main base, two DTs working hard. Oh, but he will not get it. That Overseer just has that sight on that Invis unit, and that DT just has nowhere to go.
I feel this is just really terrible for our Zerg player here, just losing base after base. Now we see a transition from Strap here. Double Robo production. He knows roaches are the only tech that Zerg has right now.
Yeah, that double Robo. Maybe they start pumping out those Immortals and then do a finishing blow with some Immortals and maybe even some Sentries and Stalkers to reinforce.
We know that no blink going on for the Protoss just yet, but +2 weapons is started. So if this attack hits when that +2 finishes, it's probably going to be death for our Zerg player.
Yeah, and 0-0 for our Roach player. I think ever since he lost his lair at his natural, he's just been scrambling and forgot some of the fundamental things he needs to win this game. Forgot about his upgrades, although, forgot about his upgrades. Barely got his Overseer up in time for that DT drop, and he is trying for a little run by at this 3rd, trying to make sure he checks out that timing, and good on him to make sure that this Protoss player doesn't get to expand to a 3rd.
He is going to get 2 Stalkers there, so not too bad. for a couple of lanes. Might just get this probe here. Just
even gets the probe, then forgot about his units, and now they will die. But we do see our Protoss gearing up for another push. Not sure if that Overlord does, and he does see the proxy pylon. Will send a few roaches to come in there and clean that up. Make sure that Protoss can't warp in too close to his base.
Oh, sorry for those sirens, guys. Apparently I live in a very terrible neighborhood. But cannons and gateways going down at that third base. Pretty good wall off. I still see some Protoss. They like to not have the full wall off here.
Right,
just so we can get a couple more force fields and force the Zerg army way more into your base. And that's what we see right now. A big roach push coming with an Overseer just to prevent any DTs from getting some extra damage in.
Yeah, and those cannons are ready just in time. Has that partial wall on the side just to make enough of a choke. Our Zerg player does decide to go up the main way. I'm not sure if he can break through here. He does decide to focus those cannons and then gets afraid. Gets force fielded in there. Beautiful force field. Tries to trap in those roaches. Just gets a little extra DPS in there. And that Protoss army successfully repels all those roaches. And no, it looks like a Coyote is going to go for another attack. Going to come in again. Going to come in against this Protoss army.
Oh, good force fields there. Cutting off most of the roaches. But we see, I think 6 Infectors basically just popped. And that might be the saving grace for us, right?
Yeah, if he can get those Infestors up to the front line, get some good fungals, and some more beautiful force fields by our Protoss player. Strafe making sure to use that beautiful choke, and this is the reason why a lot of players decide to go with that half wall, just creating a choke instead of creating this unusable space for your units, given that the Zerg will most definitely be coming with roaches. We do see a warp prism coming in through the back, probably to drop off some DTs, with the DT sitting there at a potential 4th for the Zerg. So we might see some more harass coming in against this main, maybe even try to finish what he started against that layer moving into Hive.
Now, where are all these Infestors? I have no idea. They are chilling somewhere on this map.
Are they up at the front army?
No. These are the most hidden Infestors. Maybe they're burrowed. Maybe I just don't know where they are.
I would love to see Strafed come in with that War Prism into that main. He can so easily finish off that Hive, and what a beautiful timing and what a beautiful thing that would be for him. We do see that Roach army try to come in through that front door. Still can't quite break it.
These DTs are still being annoying here. One DT just attacking that 4th base that Coyote's trying to get up over there, but the Roaches and Overseer are going to journey down. But the Overseer, looks like the Overseer did die off, so this base actually might go down. Meanwhile, back in the base.
Back in the base, we do see a drop. No DTs, but he does do Zealots. Is trying to go straight further. We do see, I believe, Transfuse trying to keep that Hive alive. And that Hive will probably... Oh, no, it will go down to this couple Zealots left.
Oh, no.
Just in time. Spent 400 minerals to get rid of that Hive. What a huge setback. Poor Coyote. Twice in a row he's lost his higher tech and has to start back on square one.
This is very, very bad. This is like Kenning in a project at school, you know? And, you know, the teacher turns her back and she's like, hey, do it again. It wasn't good enough the first time. You're like, no, I worked so hard on this. She's like, do it again. But Colossus transition now, doing a deal with all those Infestors. I'm not sure if he scouted that or not, or is it just part of his game plan. But Colossus are the answer to Infestors.
Yeah, and we do see a Neuroparasite coming in, so might try some sneaky play. I don't know if maybe that's the mantra for Zerg when behind Neuroparasite, but definitely Coyote is putting all his eggs into his Infestor basket, given that that's his only high-tech unit. But he needs to guard those with his life, because he is not going to be able to produce those for a while.
Spine Crawler wall is up for the Zerg player. He has pretty good spread here, so Protoss won't be able to push in, at least through these two paths over here. However, he can just swing by at this 4th. Oh,
huge Spine Crawler wall. I'd like to know if he has any Spore Crawlers there, though. Hasn't learned his lesson about those DTs. Just deciding to leave himself open in case DTs decide to march into that base.
In a very dangerous position there, out in the open, just by themselves. However, we do see a Ling run by going to that 4th base that he's pretty sure that Strap's going to take. Man, this probe's just going to die.
And what a clairvoyant notices it even before it even happens. Might even get a nice snipe on that pylon. A nice 2 probes going down. Every little victory is huge for him right now, and he's but I don't know if he sees this big death ball coming on his 4 Infestors.
Good
those Infestors getting sniped by those Colossus. Some nice force fields. Do see a Neuroparasite. I believe it's on the Colossus, trying to get as much DPS on his team as possible, but not enough. They just die too fast to those Colossus.
The 3-3 Colossus just have so much damage. I think they just 2-shot these Infestors, but the Falcons are still going down. Even getting an Observer in there. And with these fungals, he might just have enough. Although he is losing Infestor after Infestor, those Stalkers are going to get all the Infestors.
Oh no, a misclick by Coyote. Those fungals do extra damage to armored units, so they are the weapon of choice. I would not do Neuroparasite, but he just can't hold that army. That army's just too strong.
Units lost shows that story there with only 7,000-ish lost for the Protoss, but 11,000 for the Zerg player.
So much money down the drain. Poor Zerg just can't keep his bases up long enough to make up for that loss. We don't see much production coming out of the Protoss, just trying to reinforce, trying to round it off with just one more Colossus coming in. I think he thinks he can finish it just with this small ball right here.
Yep, now mixing DTs into mix up. He doesn't have an Overseer. Those DTs are going to wreck these roaches. Hive finally just completed a couple of seconds ago, and now Protoss is going in good position before the Infestors.
Oh, more Neuroparasites. Needs to focus down those Infestors to prevent... Oh, and he brings them back behind his force. What a beautiful play by Coyote, but... Oh, I think he's done enough, except for no Overseers to see those DTs, which are just mopping up those roaches.
Yep, and now the Neuroparasite has ended. These Colossus are going back to the team, and now they're just going to mop up all these Infesting Spine Crawlers. Another Colossus joined his fallen brethren right there, and...
This wall just can't hold it, and still no detection. Finally, the Overseer comes in. These DTs will get taken out. And just gets an Archon just in time. Smart play by Strafe to keep his DTs in the fight.
Meanwhile, not going for a third base at all for the Bronze, so he's going to just try to push it and finishes off with this 3-base attack. However, Roaches do get a good surround. All these Colossus trying to focus him down, but the Colossus aren't moving off the ramp. 2 Colossus going down.
2, just for like one shot it almost seems. 1 Colossus left, but really no army. But we do see 16 Roaches popping just about now, coming out to face this small Protoss army that remains.
Problem is the Protoss position is so good. He's in between these hatcheries, so these Roaches have a really hard time rallying to each other. The Gateway army count is just so high right now. +3 for the Protoss, only 1 armor for the Zerg. And so these Roaches are just going down so fast. We're this Immortal here who does get down 22 kills before he died.
Oh, what a legendary hero. And this Protoss Straight is definitely doing this all in, putting everything he has into army, even if it is just a couple Colossus at a time. He is not expanding anymore. He just wants to put Coyote to rest.
Main base is mined out, and he is going for it. He's going balls to the wall here. Protoss army just charging up that ramp. Zerg still has another base, and he does get another base over here, the 5th base, but right now it's just not enough production. Although supplies are more even than everything, but Protoss is above by 20 now.
And Coyote just won't say die. Never say die mentality. That infestation pit getting sniped will be a huge deal for Coyote. Can't produce any more infestors, can't do any more fungals, relying on just Roach and just Sling, which is normally not bad if your name is Stefano, but in this game with such underwhelming upgrades, I don't think he can hold this small Protoss push.
Warp Prison coming in just to, put the icing on the cake. I'm going to warp in right in front of your face now, and here comes the final attack, I think, for Coyote. Getting 1 fungal up, but not enough energy for any more Roaches. Going in, Blink now done. Oh, this is terrible.
And unfortunately, Coyote doing just a couple misclicks on his Infestors, losing them, I think, too cheaply. And these seemingly laser shows coming from every which direction. It looks like a rave up in here. And OpTiKcoyote GG's and falls out of the tournament. Thanks so much for watching the first game in the StickyFlames Masters tournament. We'll come at you with another one shortly.